Hi, this is Shauna, and I want to welcome you to Living in This Space. Real talk, because hey, we're all just living in this space we call life, right? It's messy, it's hard, and sometimes it's the most joyous thing we can experience. I want you, my listener, to have a place where the conversation is real and honest. I hope we can spend this time together, validating, sharing, and experiencing all the feels together with whatever topic is on the agenda for the day. Let's dive in. Hi, my sweet listeners, and welcome back. Well, it has been a hot minute since we've talked, hasn't it? My husband and I recently got back from 8 days of traveling, but if I'm being honest with you, I've also been in a bit of a funk for the past month or so. This place I've been in has been a battle in my own mind about my own worthiness to talk to you in this space. You know, sometimes I think we get in our own head about one thing or another, and it's really hard to recognize, are we just going through a bit of a blue period, or are we under some kind of attack from an enemy, like the enemy of our soul, or, sometimes that enemy is just us. I'm a believer, as some of you may know, so I know that personally I have to be diligent to recognize when the enemy is nagging at my thoughts or when I'm just in a crappy space in my own head. This funky space comes in all forms for me: self-doubt, criticism, negativity, fear, and feeling worthless and inadequate. Let me assure you, the enemy knows just where our weak places are, and he rarely misses an opportunity to attack. Even when the enemy is our own self, we are so good at knowing where our tender places are. And when we're really down on ourselves, we too know just where to ruminate our thoughts and feelings to put us in that really dark, sad place. So let's have an honest conversation today. But first, I want to start by reading you a snippet from a book called Lies Women Believe and the Truth That Sets Them Free by Nancy Lee DeMoss. Now, I have read and reread this faith-based book several times, and I often go back to it. And sometimes I might not read the whole book. I'm picking and choosing what's applicable to where I'm at in a certain season. But I highly recommend this book. Nancy writes, "Frequently, we fail to realize that what is causing the irritation and turmoil within our souls is not the people or circumstances we think are annoying us. Rather, the problem is that we are seeing things through a damaged lens." Oh, my sweet listeners, let's think about that one for just a minute. We are extraordinary beings, ladies, and we're created for so many amazing things. But a lot of us have trauma in our past or pain in our past, and it causes us to see things in our world through that damaged lens that she's talking about. We carry within us so many emotions, compassions, and strengths, but we also carry a lot of fear, doubt, and dread. And this, along with that past trauma or pain, can cause us to see things through tainted and damaged view of our world and life. Where does this kind of fear, doubt, and dread take you in your head? I mean, when you stop and think about it, I think you can recognize it. For most of us, it's often a place filled with lies from the enemy of our soul. For most believers, that enemy is easily identified. But if you're not a believer, then you may recognize the enemy of your soul as your own fears, negativity, and lack of self-worth, all rolled up into a jumble of thoughts that just swirl around in that beautiful mind that you have. I want to talk about some truths that I know and I've learned over the years for just a minute. A lack of knowledge causes fear and insecurities, but knowledge removes those feelings and gives us more insight. So A good practice is to start looking at what is the truth. Do some self-reflection. Read, journal, talk to someone trusted if you need to. And ask yourself this question when you find yourself in a place of confusion. Is this true? I think most of the time you're going to find the answer is no. I was listening to a podcast with Dr. Amen not too long ago. And he is a well-known psychiatrist and brain disorder specialist, and really fascinating to listen to if you've never heard him speak. But Dr. Amen said, I don't have any tattoos, but if I did, it would be the words tattooed on my wrist that read, is this true? And I thought, how brilliant to remind ourselves of this question every time a negative thought passes through our mind. You know, so often our thoughts can take us down a huge rabbit hole of lies. So if something's plaguing you and you're ruminating on it, ask yourself the question, is this true? And it should ground you back to what is true and what is not. The next thing is worry. Oh, this is a big one, isn't it? And I think as women, we worry a lot over so many things. Worry causes fear that is usually a fear of the unknown. But with confidence, we can believe that all things will work out the way they're meant to. So the opposite of worry would be confidence. I can ruminate for days on end and find myself in a doozy of a funk when I'm worrying myself into a tizzy about something. And usually whatever it is, it'll usually work itself out in the end. Or maybe it wasn't as big as I thought it was. And then dread and doubt go hand in hand with worry, leading us to expect something unpleasant is going to happen. Y'all, the instant you allow these things into your thoughts, all of your joy is gone. So I want you to start believing in possibilities. Be more optimistic and more positive. And I want you to trust that all is well until you see evidence that it's not. Now, you heard that word, evidence. That's usually something that's factual. And if all isn't okay and you find out that there is something to be concerned about, then you can work on a solution. But remember, worrying is only going to increase your fear of an often imagined negative outcome. Lack of confidence is another thing. It's also rooted in fear. Believing in oneself and deciding that we are perfectly capable will kick that fear to the curb. And you know, it's something that you may have to remind yourself of hundreds of times a day. But remind yourself and don't live in that state of fear that's caused from a lack of confidence. This is just where I've been for the last month. I'm going to be real honest with you. I had to do some serious self-talk and reflection to get back on here today with you. I had to really decide with confidence that yes, I do have something of value to bring to you, even if it's just a snippet of something. And even if it's just one person out there that's moved by my message, then it's of value and it's important. I want you to remember that none of these feelings, these negative feelings that we're talking about, are from God or your higher self. All of these feelings are lies that the enemy tells us. My precious sisters, do you know why we are often under so much attack? Well, let me tell you my thoughts on this. I personally feel like, as women, we are meant for so much more. Since the beginning of time, we have had amazing strengths and abilities. We have had groundbreaking impact in the fields of medicine, science, and education. We are leaders in the community. We birth leaders and teachers, doctors, world changers, pastors, scientists, and medical researchers. Can you see where this is going? We are such an integral part of the human race, girls. I mean, without us, there would be no human race. So, do you see now how the enemy of our souls would love to beat us down in every area of our lives? We are far too important to leave alone. Do you see how negative self-talk and a lack of confidence and expecting the worst can stifle our self-worth and fill us with fear, dread, and doubt? All of these things are so important for us to keep in check. What lies are you allowing to control your thoughts and actions today? If you're doing great in this area, I applaud you. But if you're struggling, I want you to stand up and take back what the enemy is stealing from you. Stand firm in the knowledge that you were made for more, my precious sisters. Always remember to ask that question, is this true? And really, really think about the answer. One of the things that we can do is speak positive affirmations over ourselves daily. Things like, I am capable. I am worthy. I am smart. I am a leader. I'm a good mom, wife, daughter, sister. I'm capable of doing great things. I'm confident. I'm passionate. I am created for more. I am fearless. And my sweet friends, when that fear does strike, because I promise you it will, say to yourself, I will seek truth in this moment of fear, and I will press forward. I hope that something today has pricked your spirit and given you hope if you're struggling in any of these areas. So, as we wrap up, I just want to encourage you, sweet listeners, to live out your personal truth every day. And until the next time, I hope you are living in your space well. Hey, thanks for listening. Don't forget to hit follow wherever you get your podcast. And until next time, I hope you live in your space well, my friends.